Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be on the new home schemes that are going on across the nation. And we're going to look at a few things. Now, by now, everyone should understand and realize that the Census Bureau has recently erased home price decline from new home sales. But in addition to that, remember this whole time since about 2021, maybe even 2020, these new home builders have been constantly getting warned from places like Freddie Mac on how they're calculating value, essentially not removing the seller's concessions from value. Now that puts people in a very dangerous situation. If people were purchasing homes and thinking they were worth a certain amount, come to find out they valued those incorrectly, well, then that could be grounds for potentially lawsuits in the future. But regardless, you guys, today I want you to understand where can you go to get good data for new homes and what can you do to understand, like, how do you come up with value? Is it a really good deal for new homes? Is it not a good deal? I mean, what's with all of the revisions? Now, the other question that I want to ask is all of this just the stupidity of these people? Because it looks so shady, you guys, and I've been talking in my Discord. Is it really what we're seeing here is just people are so stupid that it appears there's a conspiracy? Because I ask myself, why? Why would they revise the data like this? And so I'm really interested to hear what you have to say. We emailed the Census Bureau. We got a response back to them. We have a better understanding of exactly what they're saying, but in no way are they explaining what happened. So if I may, I want to start with this tweet that I sent out probably about a week or two ago. Now, the top graph is a screenshot that I got back around March of 2024. The bottom is May's updated numbers. So the top chart clearly shows that we hit a peak around October of 2022 for new homes, followed by a pretty sharp decline in values. Now, this is exactly what I'm seeing in my own local housing market here in Houston. I'm seeing multiple subdivisions that peaked for new homes, clearly peaked in 2022, and now the prices in 2024 are actually much lower than 2022. So the top graph is what I am personally seeing when I access multiple listing service. And don't forget, you guys, they don't even have to report everything on MLS. Now, the bottom graph is the updated graph. So to me, when I first saw this, I'm like, they're breathing life into a narrative that the housing market is great and everything is fine. But then the other part of me is like, man, can they really pull that off? You know, are they powerful enough? Are they smart enough? Well, yeah, probably. Or are they just stupid enough and they're just removing data because they can and they just don't care? I mean, what is going on? But one thing I could tell you for sure is they erased from the history books that price decline. That price decline you guys see in the top graph is no longer there. You see that right here in this graph, which is total BS. Now, here's the reason why we can't trust this information. This information is shockingly generated from some Mickey Mouse survey that's completed by financially biased people that want their stocks to go up. There is no accountability when it comes to new homes. Now, they did a special notice right here, basically explaining that the revisions were a result of new price groupings. I'm going to show you guys here in a second those new price groupings, but I'm also going to say the way that median is calculated, it doesn't matter what groupings they're using. They take all of the median data and find the median. So the fact that they're just making new pricing groups should have no impact on median prices, because the median is calculated by using all data. So the only way that they're going to have that trajectory, this trajectory go from the top to the bottom, is by removing and manipulating data. Now, in addition to that, you can kind of see that right here. I mean, look at what they're saying in their notes. So this is the notes to the citizens of the US, okay? These surveys are still subject to non-sampling error. The total quality response rate for the estimates are 76.6%. So at best, we're missing 23% of the data. There are multiple errors and they are financially biased, and we are warned from the Census Bureau. And in my opinion, we see that by the manipulation of the data. But again, maybe this is just a conspiracy. Maybe they're just really just stupid, and that's what we see here. But look at their response. Now, this is a response from Jason Walter. Jason Walter emailed the Census Bureau and was like, what the heck did you just do? And here's the response from the Census Bureau, an actual email. And I'm going to read this word for word, and then we'll kind of break this apart. We appreciate your interest in our new residential sales data. And again, this is from the Census Bureau. You see that down here, okay? Regarding the revisions, we are applying to the housing units sold, for sale, and months supply from 2019 to 2024. This is our annual revision. The annual revision is usually a routine procedure, and we typically apply it during our April reports. We typically revise the past 63 months of sold, for sale, and months of supply data every year. But that's not talking about the prices, is it, guys? That's talking about supply, right? Unlike the monthly revisions we typically apply in the past 3 recent months, these annual revisions are less to do with adjusting the counts for missing or corrected units and are more done to adjust data to updates to our seasonal factors. This is why revisions are only applied to the seasonally adjusted variation of the data. We apply a similar procedure to the April versions of our new residential construction reports as well. To me, that has told us absolutely nothing. And again, I'm going to show you the price groups, but the price groups should have nothing to do with median because it should have the same exact data. And this is not answering the question about prices. Let's look at the second paragraph. With the annual revisions exhibited to home sold, sales, month supply are routine. The revisions of sales prices from 2020 to 2024 is unique. As mentioned in the note on the report, alongside the release of our new residential sales report, we have introduced a version of our sales data with updated price ranges. And again, it doesn't matter. That's fine. You can make updated price ranges, but in order to calculate median from a mathematical standpoint, you use all of the data and you find what the median is. Price groups have nothing to do with median unless they've just turned median into index value. Index value is more proprietary and they can do whatever they want with it, but median value is mathematical. That's a mathematical formula. And then they go on to say this, which is absolutely just ridiculous. As prices of homes have continued to rise over the years, our original price ranges have begun to skew more and more towards the higher ranges. That lower ranges were beginning to provide little to no value to our data users. So they're saying that they're changing this because it doesn't give value to the users of their data. Again, mentioning nothing about the actual prices going down $40,000 across the board. In creating these new pricing groups, it presented us with an opportunity to re-examine our pricing data and to recalculate the prices based on additional data and revisions found since the data was published. So there we go. So that's basically what they're saying. The reason why all of the adjustments is because they re-examined and recalculated the prices based on additional data and revisions, but they will not tell us how. They will not tell us what did they do to make that drastic impact. Now let's go over the changes in price grouping so you guys can see how ridiculous this is. And again, it doesn't matter. What you guys see above my head are just the price ranges. This is the pricing groups. Look, they have 150,000 to under. They have 750,000 and over. But what I want to point out is this covers 0 to above. You guys see 150 and under, 750 and over. So these here are your price groupings. Again, these price groups should have the same data as these new price groups. So all they did is they moved it from 150 to 300,000 and under. But notice again, it's still under. It's still the same data, and they've moved the top tier to 1 million and over. But again, and over. It's still the same data. So rearranging those price groups alone would not have that impact on median value. And think about it. How can they possibly change it like that? It appears to be a narrative. It could be stupidity, but it appears to be a trend because the data is always shifting in the favor of the people that are making money. Do you guys disagree with me? And again, I know that prices of new homes are going down because I have traveled not only across the nation, but I also have access to my own local housing market multiple listing service. And I do something called subdivision analysis. And I provide the viewers and my community of real estate mindset with a special fancy form that I made called a subdivision analysis form. It's in my description right now. You can literally download that form right now. It's yours. If you're a realtor, put your logo on it. I don't care. I just want people to use it because it's simple math to find a great deal. But again, you guys, this is very deceiving. Now, potentially why they're doing this is to maintain higher stocks. I mean, they're almost at 52-year highs, both Lennar and D.R. Horton. So maybe that's one reason, or maybe the reason why they did that is because the warning from Freddie Mac regarding seller concession concerns. I want to read a few bullet points here, you guys. Now, two of the components defined in value. So this is Freddie Mac now, shooting a shot across the bow of appraisers and new home builders, because what they're supposed to be doing is readjusting value based on those rate buy downs, based on those insane buying incentives where you can get a 4% rate where everyone else has to get a 7% rate. They are not accurately reducing value, and that is not a guess. That is fact, because we have that report right here. So I'm not making a guess. They are not doing value calculations correctly. So maybe that's why the revisions. Two things. Payment is made in terms of cash in US dollars or in terms of financing agreements. Comparable there too. Okay, this is the definition of value. Number two, the price represents the normal consideration for the property sold, unaffected by special or creative financing or sales concessions granted by anyone associated with the sale. And you guys, the builders are absolutely, and I'll show you that here in a second, they are absolutely offering special financing incentives. There is no question about it. And again, I will show you that. But here is potentially the more concerning paragraph. Within the appraisal population, appraisers reported seller concessions in 7.6 million comparables. So 7.6 million comps. Of great concern, for 58% of those comparables, the appraisers made no adjustments for concessions. Okay, so there's about 4 million transactions that should have had adjustments downward, not upward, downward in value, that were not made. Now, not only is Lennar slashing their prices across the board, and we need to do a subdivision analysis to see if these are real price cuts, because these are some juicy price cuts, but also, you guys, they're doing insane special financing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We just read that. Now, look at what Lennar is offering, okay? Lennar is offering a conventional 3-2-1 buy down with the first year in interest rate, 2.25%. Jeez. Second year, 3.25%. Third year, 4.25%. Your final year, 5.25%. Interest rates are 7% right now. That's special financing. That value in financing needs to be removed from comparable data, and it is not. Now, the reason why this is so important is if you're on the sideline, and I've been saying this constantly, new homes are going to lead price crashing. I've drove around the nation. I've reported back to you guys. We see that happening right now. But understand, if you are looking at new homes and you go to purchase a new home, there is a massive lack of consumer protection. It's almost as if these new home builders have a monopoly over the entire purchasing transaction, because they own the title company and the lender, and they will not often give you incentives unless you use their people. So if you are purchasing new homes, be extremely cautious, and also understand that they're not even reporting all of the sales data on MLS. One of the things I hear happening a lot here in Texas, because Texas is a non-disclosure state, so I can't access county appraisal district records to see how much people purchased their house for, whereas in California, you can do that. What happens a lot in Texas is these new home builders will sell a block of 20 houses to an institutional investor for 25% under market value, and they will never report that on MLS. So in other words, you guys, tread lightly. Purchasing new homes is very scary. It's very difficult. If you go in emotional, I'm going to tell you guys, you're going to fall in love right away. They will be able to see that you're falling in love, and they will take advantage of that emotion. So guard yourselves. All right. Other than that, I really hope you guys enjoy this report. If you're out there investing in real estate, you guys already know I wish you luck, and I hope you win.